And welcome to IMS. We're so excited to have you with us here today on our IMS curriculum workshop, also known as Tips and Tricks to Choosing Your Courses. So congratulations on getting accepted into IMS, and we look forward to having you join us here in September. So my name is Sobega Varavanathan, and I work in curriculum and education here at IMS. So my role encompasses curriculum development, course enrollment, advising students on course and program requirements, hiring students for our teaching assistants and sessional lectures, coordinating MSc 1010, 1011, which is the mandatory course that all of our students are enrolled in, as well as planning major events such as our scientific day, our Ori Rothstein lecture, as well as managing our summer undergraduate research program. So here with us today, we have many IMS staff and our leadership team here with us today. Unfortunately, our director of curriculum, Nicole Harnett, could not be with us here today, but with the curriculum portfolio, myself and her work closely together. So I'm going to ask everyone to give a quick 30-second introduction. So if we can start with our director, Dr. Mingya Liu.
Hello, everyone. Welcome and also congratulations. As the speaker said, to be a graduate student in the IMS is a great achievement. I hope that you will enjoy your study in the IMS. And also, IMS has been a graduate program for over 50 years. Actually, this year is 55 years. And in the past, IMS research, the program is basically research-based training program. We emphasize the thesis-based research, and we hope students can learn through the real research project to become a scholar, to become a researcher. But now we also realize that many students do have a great need and they want to gain a lot from the graduate courses. So speaker and also Professor Nicole Harnett and her committee have tried to create more and more graduate courses and modular courses as well. And we also try to encourage graduate students to create your own learning materials and also propose the graduate training modules and so on. So we hope that the graduate program in IMS will be not only student-centered, but also student-led program. So through this workshop, I hope that you are not only learned how to choose your own graduate courses, but also think about how these courses can benefit your research and how you can contribute to the curriculum development. So I hope that through this, you will be part of the IMS community. Again, thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Mingya Liu. Next up, if Emily can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily DeRosier. I was the interim admissions officer replacing Hazel temporarily. And now I am back into my regular role as the graduate program assistant for the master's students. So I deal with program advisory committees, registrations and stipendary agreements for continuing students, as well as program extensions, transfer exams, MSc final exams, and helping you to finish your degree. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Emily. How about Joanne next?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to IMS. I'm the PhD program coordinator. My name is Joanne Lee. If you have any questions about PAC meeting, your final oral exam, qualifying exam, you can always reach out to me. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne. Next up, Alicia.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alicia, and I'm the Executive Assistant and Faculty Affairs Administrator. In my portfolio, I cover basically three main areas. So faculty appointments, which isn't too relevant to you as a student. However, there have been some occurrences where students reach out to me to ask about the membership level of their faculty just for PAC membership. So if that's something that you would want information on, you could reach out to me about that. I also am the awards officer for internal awards, which is more related to you. So if you have any questions questions regarding any internal awards that you may want more information about, you can certainly reach out to me about that. And then lastly, I also co-chair the IMS EDI committee with Dr. Sunit Das. And with him, we lead a committee of faculty and students who are interested in developing initiatives for marginalized and underrepresented groups. So if that's something that you think you may be interested in, you can find more information on our IMS website, or you can just send me an email at sf.medscience@utoronto.ca. Thanks.
Thanks, Alicia. And Hazel?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to you all. I am very new to you. I am the admissions officer. I was away from my desk for some months, and Emily, who gracefully sitting in my seat, did a wonderful job in admitting you guys to the IMS graduate program. Congrats to Emily. I just want you all to know that I've been receiving many emails from incoming students regarding registration. Please note that registration starts as of July 17th. On the morning of July 17th, I will send an email to all of you, an instructional email as to how to register in the graduate program. When you get the email and we encounter any trouble with GEMS, please let me know via email. I am at the IMS office on Thursdays and Fridays. So if you need to meet with me in person, those are my 2 in-office days. Again, congratulations and welcome to the Institute of Medical Science.
Thank you, Hazel. And I'm going to pass it to Lisa, who's our work study student in curriculum.
Amazing. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa. I'm a PhD student working in the IMS curriculum office. Again, on behalf of IMS, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and we are very, very excited to have you as part of the IMS community. Next. All right, so today we're going to cover many topics related to the IMS curriculum, including the key websites, the degree requirements, how and when to select courses, the grading policy, collaborative specialization program, the IMS mandatory course, and a brief intro to what program advisory committee is. And after, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions to the IMS faculty and staff that you just met, and then you'll meet current IMS students in a breakout room where you can ask more further questions about their experience in IMS. And of course, you can ask them about the courses, the curriculum, but you can also take this as an opportunity to ask for their honest advice on what went well, what was challenging, what they wish they had known sooner during their time in IMS. Finally, we're going to have a short quiz about what you've learned today, and the winner of the quiz will get a $20 gift card of their choice. So please pay attention, take notes, and ask lots of questions. Throughout the workshop, you're also welcome to ask any urgent quick questions in the chat box, although I would suggest you hold on to your questions for the Q&A session at the end if you can. Sabika, if there are any additional notes you'd like to add at any point, please feel free to jump in whenever. Next. Perfect. So first and foremost, this is the most important website that you should immediately bookmark if you haven't done so already. This website has everything you need to know, including the courses, the awards, funding, exams, degree requirements, program advisory committee, your timeline, leave of absence, all the staff contact information, and so much more. And in fact, most of what we're going to talk about today can be found on this website too. Next. A couple of other websites that you will use frequently are Acorn and Kirkus. So Acorn is a secure student information system that includes your personal contact information, financial information, including the tuition, the awards, tax slips, academic information, including timetables, grades, transcripts, your graduation and convocation information, degree registration status, course enrollment, and resources for health and wellness, school involvement, jobs, housing, etc. Kirkus is a more formal academic record system. So this is where you go to find information about your courses. So to clarify, once you enroll in the courses on Acorn, You will now be able to access your course materials, syllabus announcements from your professors on Kirkus. You can also find any readings, quizzes, assignments, grades before they officially show up on your transcript related to any of your courses for on Kirkus. Okay, next.
Just before we move on, we have Dr. Isabella Canija who has joined us, who's our graduate coordinator. So if Dr. Isabella Canija can give a quick 30-second introduction as well. You're on mute.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Isabella Canija. I'm one of the graduate coordinator for the department, for IMS department. I'm happy to be here and learn more and guide you. And if there is any question from the student, John Vincent and we are always here. I am a senior scientist at the Lunenfeld Tannenbaum Research Institute, where I'm located, and I'm always available to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Isabella Canija. Just for the students, if you have any questions in the meantime, you're always welcome to put them in the chat, and our IMS staff members will be answering them throughout the presentation as well. And back to you, Lisa.
All right, so back to the slides. Okay, so if you're a master's student, you must complete minimum 2 graduate full course equivalent or FCE courses. 0.5 FCE must come from the IMS mandatory course, the MSc 10-10-10-11, and we're going to talk about this in detail later. You do not need to enroll in this course yourself. It'll be done automatically for you. Another 0.5 FCE must come from 2 modular courses because each modular course is worth 0.25 FCE. We're also going to talk about the modular courses in detail later, and you must enroll in the modular courses yourself. The 1.0 FCE must come from letter graded elective courses. So you can choose to take 1 1.0 FCE course, 2 0.5 FCE courses, or a mix of 0.5 and 0.25 FCE courses, so that in total, you can satisfy the 1.0 FCE requirement for elective courses, and you also need to enroll in the elective courses yourself. Finally, the RST 9999Y will be on your timetable and transcript. You do not need to enroll in this yourself. This will automatically be done for you. Next.
I just wanted to add, the modular courses can be credit, no credit, letter grade, or letter graded courses, whereas elective courses must be letter graded.
Yeah, perfect. Next. Okay. And there are multiple PhD stream programs. So you can go through master's to PhD transfer, which means that you start as an IMS master student, and then you transfer to the IMS PhD program during your master's. So without finishing your master's. This program is typically 6 years, and it requires a master's to PhD transfer exam and final oral exam. The second stream is direct entry PhD, which means that you go straight into the PhD program without a defended master's thesis. This program is typically 6 years and requires a qualifying exam and final oral exam. Lastly, you can pursue a PhD after a defended master's degree. And this program is typically 5 years and requires a qualifying exam and final oral exam. Next. All right, so if you're a PhD student with a defended master's thesis, then you must complete a minimum of 2.0 FCE. So similarly to the master's requirement that I described before, 0.5 FCE must come from the IMS mandatory course, the MSc 10-10-10-11, unless you completed this course already as part of your master's in IMS before. 0.5 FCE must come from 2 modular courses unless, again, you completed this as part of your master's in IMS before. 1.0 FCE must come from letter-graded elective courses. And again, you do not need to enroll in the IMS mandatory course or RST 999Y, as this is going to be done automatically for you. Next.
I just also wanted to add MSc 1010H and 1011H are the same course. So 1010H is just for master's students, and then 1011H is a number that we use for PhD students. So you only be enrolled in MSc 1010H if you're a master's, and then MSc 1011H if you're a PhD, not both.
Yeah, and I'm going to detail this in a little bit as well. Perfect. So if you are a PhD student in the direct entry or master's to PhD transfer streams, so without a defended master's thesis, then you must complete a minimum of 3.0 FCE. So 0.5 FCE must come from the IMS mandatory course again. And if you are a master's to PhD transfer student, then this should be completed before the transfer. 0.5 FCE must come from 2 modular courses. And again, if you're a master's to PhD transfer student, then this should be done before the transfer. The 2.0 FCE must come from the letter-graded elective courses. In addition to the course requirements, if you are a direct entry PhD student, then you must complete the PhD qualifying exam within 18 to 21 months of registration. And if you're a master's to PhD transfer student, then you must complete the master's to PhD transfer exam within 18 to 21 months of registration. Next. You can find a list of elective and modular courses, as well as detailed information about the IMS mandatory course, the MSc 1010, 1011, on the IMS website under the courses tab. And please know that not all of the IMS courses are offered every term or year. So it could be that if there is for example, a neuroimaging course on the list now, and you decide, I'll just take it next year, this course may not be available for you next year. So keep that in mind. Next. So each modular course is typically 0.25 FCE, and it starts with the course code MSc 11 something something. So modular courses are typically shorter and they do not cover the entire term. So you may find that the start date, the end date, as well as the course drop date may vary between different modular courses. And as Subiga mentioned before, some are pass or fail and some are letter graded. Next. So how do you enroll in courses? First, on the Acorn website, you click the Manage Courses tab. And then you first have to request the course. Then you will see the memo in the blue box on the bottom left. Then the IMS curriculum administrator, so Sabiga, will have to manually approve the request. So this is an important note. This is not an instantaneous process. So please do not panic when you're not enrolled in the course immediately. And once Sabiga approves your request, then you'll be officially enrolled in the course. Few notes: requested does not mean approved or officially enrolled. So this means that you will not see the course page or have access to the course material on Kirkus website yet. Number 2, please cancel your request if you're not interested in the course anymore. This is really important for us. So number 1, this does not show on your record anymore. Number 2, you're not hogging the seat for somebody else who might actually really need that course. So please be a good citizen. And finally, the students can enroll in the courses with only an invited status on Acorn. So course enrollment can actually start even before the registration starts. Next.
So I just wanted to add, course enrollment is starting on July 10th, which is next week. So as Lisa mentioned, once you request a course, it usually shows as requested. And once I approve the course, it will show as approved. And only when it's approved is it, are you going to get access to the course content, etc. If after a while you notice that your course is still in requested status, there's probably a reason why it still hasn't been approved. So for courses that we'll go over in detail in a couple of slides. So for courses that are outside of IMS, you may require an add drop form for the course to be approved. So until all the requirements are complete, your course won't be approved. A little other note about modular courses as well is that we usually try to limit students to 2 modular courses in order to allow all students the opportunity to complete their degree requirements. And as Lisa mentioned, if you are not interested in taking a course, please remove that course from Acorn, as you are taking a spot of another student who can take that course. And you're not going to be able to take 7 to 8 courses a semester. This is not undergraduate degree, so this is a graduate degree. So please do keep that in mind.
All right, so now what courses should you take? Who should you talk to? So IMS recommends that you select courses that support your research project or complement your knowledge and skills. But this is ultimately really up to you and your supervisor. You can also speak to your program advisory committee members, other students and peers, lab colleagues to see what they suggest for course selection. If you decide to join the collaborative specialization program, which I will talk about more later, there can be other course requirements than what I had mentioned earlier. Next. So when should you complete your course requirement? Again, your timeline is largely dependent on what you and your supervisor agree on, but IMS strongly recommends that you complete your courses within the first year for master's students and within the second year for PhD students. Next. Okay, so now let's talk about the IMS mandatory course, the MSc 1010, 1011. Again, same thing, 1010 for master's, 1011 for the PhD. So first, I want to clarify that master's 1010, 1011 again is the same course. And again, it shows up as 1010 for master's, 1011 for PhD students, and you do not need to enroll in this course yourself. It's automatically done. And this course is directed by Dr. Marianne Korodzinski and is comprised of multiple different components that you should be completing over 2 years. So typically, this is how it goes. In year 1, you complete the lecture series in the fall term. You also complete the TCPS2 core online ethics course. If you've already done this before, even prior to getting accepted to IMS, you do not need to redo it because there's no expiration date. You will receive detailed instructions on how and where to submit the certificate later down in the future. And then in year 2, you attend the group seminars where you get an opportunity to present your research to your peers and also have an opportunity to evaluate other people's presentations too. Now, in either year 1 or 2, you must also attend the annual Ori Rostein lecture, typically in the fall term. And you also need to present at the annual IMS Scientific Day. So after all that is accomplished, then you're officially done with MSc 1010 or 1011. Next.
So I just wanted to mention, so in the past, so currently the course is called MSc 1010H and MSc 1011H. If you go on our website, you might notice MSc 1010Y or MSc 1011Y. I just wanted to let you know that this does not apply to you, as this was a course code for students who were enrolled before September 2020. As with the requirements for the TCPS online ethics course, these are typically due on November 1st, and more instructions can be found on Quarkus on where you submit your ethics certificate, as well as presentation at the annual IMS Scientific Day. Although you can present in year 1 or year 2, we highly recommend that you present in year 1 so that 1, you're also done with this requirement, but 2, you're actually getting to practice your presentation skills, network with other IMS students, because even if you present in year 1, you can still present again in year 2. So it's always nice to have that requirement marked as complete as well. So moving on to collaborative specialization programs, also known as CSP. So here at IMS, we offer a variety of different collaborative specialization programs. Our most popular one tends to be the collaborative specialization program in neuroscience. And we do have a number of students in the collaborative specialization program in cardiovascular sciences. One of our newer ones is in neuromodulation. So what are CSPs? So CSPs are really an opportunity for you to enrich your graduate experience by seeing a research area more in depth. So you get to meet other students in other departments as well who share similar interests to you, as well as other faculty who share similar interests to you. So these are great opportunities for you for potential collaboration purposes on your research projects, just for networking. And some of these collaborative specialization programs have courses specific to their collaborative specialization program. So you have the opportunity to take courses in that CSP. So as I just mentioned, you have access to focus course offerings. And once you're done the collaborative specialization program, when you complete your IMS degree, this will be noted on your transcript. So just as a note, these are completely optional, but we do recommend that students join a CSP if they're interested. You need to be registered in IMS before you can be enrolled in a CSP, and you need to complete the requirements both of the IMS for your IMS degree as well as the CSP if you're enrolled in a CSP. So some CSPs, as I mentioned, have like courses such as seminars that are mandatory for their CSP. So add drop course form. So I think this is one of the most important sections of this workshop. So as you looked at the program requirements, you've noticed that all students, whether you're in the MSc or the PhD program, have space to take elective courses. So elective courses do not have to be courses taken at IMS. You're welcome to take elective courses in other graduate departments. They must be graduate courses though. So for most courses outside of IMS, you are required to submit an add drop course form. So this add drop course form can be found on our IMS website in the timetable section where you see a list of our IMS courses. You will also see a link to this add drop course form. I will be going over in detail on the next slide how to fill this add drop course form. And so basically once the form is fully approved is when you can request the course in advance for certain courses, but the course won't be approved unless you have a fully completed add drop course form. But for certain courses, you will not be able to add the course yourself on Acorn. And only once this form is fully completed will the department offering the course add a space for you in the course. Please note that you will require the IMS graduate coordinator's signature for this form, and you will need to email me to obtain this signature. It takes a minimum of 1 week to obtain this signature. So please note that there are deadlines for course enrollment. So I highly recommend that you do not wait until the last minute to submit this form, because there are multiple signatures required on this form, and the form needs to be fully processed by the course enrollment date for you to be approved in the course. So this is a sample add drop course form, which I'll be going over in detail. So you can fill this form out electronically, which is the easiest way to do this form. So you would put your last name, your first name, and then your University of Toronto student number, which can be found on your T card. The degree, if you're doing an MSc or Master of Science or Doctor of Philosophy, the session in which you're looking to enroll in the course, the graduate unit, all students today in this workshop are from the Institute of Medical Science, your full-time student, and your University of Toronto email. So it's really important that you use your University of Toronto email, because we only correspond with students using their official U of T email address. So no Gmail, no Hotmail, just your U of T email. Although there are 3 spaces on this form, one single form needs to be filled out for each course that you want to take outside of IMS. So for example, you would put the course number. So the first 3 letters correspond to the department, and then if there are 4 numbers, it is a graduate course. If there are 3 numbers, it is an undergraduate course. So as I mentioned earlier, undergraduate courses do not count towards IMS degree requirements. You can take undergraduate courses, but they will not count towards IMS degree requirements. So this is for graduate courses only. So you would put the course title, if it's a required course, and then the session code. So if you're taking a course in fall 2023, that code would be 2023-9. If you're taking a course in winter 2024, it'll be 2024-1. And then the meeting section, so most of the courses have lecture 0101. And then you will sign here where it says student signature, you will put the date. You will ask the instructor of the course or the course director who's offering the course, they will need to put their signature here and put the date as well. Your supervisors, so your whoever you're doing your thesis with, your thesis supervisor needs to sign the form here. It's really important that you have a discussion with your supervisor on which courses you're taking. And then once this form is complete, as I've mentioned, you would email the form to me. I will obtain the IMS graduate coordinator's signature and then send the form back to you. And then you will need to email this form to the department offering their course so you can have their graduate coordinator sign the form. And once that form is complete, you will need to send me the fully signed and completed form so that your course request will be approved. So this is super important that this form is filled out. So I will note that, for example, for TRP modular courses, you do not need to fill out this form. You do not need to fill out this form for any IMS courses. So for Dalalana offers CHL 5201 and 5202. So for these two courses as well, you do not need this form completed. So course grading policy. So this is also a very important slide. So in most undergraduate programs, usually 50% is a passing grade. However, in graduate school at University of Toronto, less than 70% in any course will be assigned as a fail. So you must achieve 70% in each course to pass the course. So as I mentioned earlier, there are graduate students here at IMS who take undergraduate courses for various purposes. So if you are taking an undergraduate course as a graduate student, you still need 70% in that undergraduate course to be considered a pass. So even if you take, let's say, an introductory physics course that's an undergraduate course and you receive a 69%, that will be considered a fail and you will receive a fail on your transcript. So it is very important that you keep note of this course grading policy, as only a 70% is a pass.
All right, okay. So now we talked about, we mentioned the term Program Advisory Committee or PAC before. So let me tell you a little bit about what this is. So PAC is comprised of your supervisors and at least 2 faculty members with membership in the School of Graduate Studies. The purpose of PAC is to provide you with research expertise, guidance, mentorship, and to evaluate your progress and provide feedback to ensure that you're doing okay, you're doing fine in graduate degree. You must have minimum 1 documented meeting every 6 months, so twice a year, and the first PAC meeting must take place within the first 6 months after admission. So this would be February for students starting in September and June for students starting in January. You can speak to your supervisor to create your PAC as well. Next. So there are action items before, during, and after the PAC meeting. 1 week before the PAC meeting, you must send a short PAC research report and previous PAC meeting report as a single PDF to each of the PAC members. You should also circulate a clean copy of the PAC meeting report that needs to be completed and signed by the PAC members at the meeting. During the PAC meeting, one of the PAC members, not your supervisor, should act as the chair of the meeting. Typically, there is a student presentation followed by a PAC discussion, Q&A, and evaluation. After the PAC meeting, you must submit the signed PAC meeting report and related meeting minutes to the IMS staff and CC your PAC members and supervisor in the email within 2 weeks of the meeting. Next.
So PhD qualifying exams. So I'm going to go over this very quickly, as most of this information is on our IMS website. And if you have any specific questions, you can ask Joanna, who's our graduate program assistant. So all PhD students will have to hold a qualifying exam within 18 to 21 months of starting the program. So there are different steps and there are important timelines that you must follow. So these timelines are very set in stone. So it's important that you follow all these timelines. So you must have a pre-exam PAC meeting, and 4 weeks prior to the exam, you must submit your exam package to the IMS for approval. And then 1 week prior to the exam, IMS will receive the research proposal appraisal from the examiner, and then you'll have your qualifying exam. So similarly for MSc to PhD transfer exam, if you have any questions, you can email Emily, who's our graduate program assistant. So importantly on this slide as well are the timelines. So it's important that you follow and make note of these timelines very carefully, as they're also set in stone. So pre-exam PAC meeting, you obtain your PAC approval. 4 weeks prior to the exam, you submit your exam package to the IMS for approval. And then what happens 1 week prior to the exam is the IMS receives a research proposal appraisal from the examiner, and then the transfer exam happens.
All right, so I remember when I first joined IMS as a student, it was so overwhelming to figure out what needed to be done first to enroll. So here are the steps. First, you get your UTour ID and your T card. And then you create the UToronto email address. Subika mentioned this before, but again, this is really important because IMS faculty and staffs can only communicate with the students via UToronto email address as per U of T policy. You will need the UToronto email address to receive the GEMS agreement form, the Graduate Education Management System or GEMS agreement form. And this needs to be submitted and then it'll be approved by the supervisor and the IMS office. And then you pay your tuition and then your degree registration status on Acorn will change from invited to registered again on Acorn. And then you enroll in the courses. But as we mentioned a while back, it is actually possible to enroll in the courses with only an invited status. So step 6 can actually occur before step 5. Next. Okay, so here is a quick summary of degree requirements checklist once again. So this is recorded. If you want to go back, you can take a look at this later. Next. All right, so we also have many resources for the international students. There is IMS International Community and a dedicated IMS staff that can help you about the international program. We also have an international student facilitator for one of our Q&A breakout rooms later. So you're welcome to join and ask questions there too today. Next. IMS also has many resources for everybody. There is a dedicated 1-hour weekly virtual office hour with the graduate coordinators where you can ask questions about IMS and chat about anything related to being a graduate student. Details can be found in the IMS weekly digest email, which you will start to receive soon, if not already. The IMS Student Association, or IMSA, is our main IMS student community. They offer many opportunities to meet other IMS students and become involved in volunteer or leadership roles. They also provide student resources and many social and academic events. And honestly, this is simply a really great platform to make friends and hang out. There are multiple student mentorship programs, either through IMS, IMSA, and or your hospital sites. I personally found having one or more student mentors really helpful, so I would recommend that. Next slide. There is also a dedicated 1-hour weekly virtual office hour with our IMS Curriculum and Education Administrator, Subika, and she's going to start with Wednesdays at 2 to 3 p.m. in July, and then the day and time may change after, but you will receive details via email. Next.
Just a note, it won't be occurring today, so it'll only start next week.
All right, and finally, this website has the IMS Student Handbook that has a ton of information about so many topics. So I would recommend that you go and check this out as well.